Hi, I'm the Free American Thinker, and today I wanted to talk about something that can be a much larger conversation. But I wanted to start getting into the area of arguments and argument of what right and wrong is. And when I mean that, I don't mean morally or ethically. I mean in terms of something being a correct or a wrong answer from let's say, from a scholastic sense of 2 plus 2 equals 4 versus 2 plus 2 equals 5. Um, Really what you're trying to say when you say 2 plus 2 equals 4 is you're trying to explain or give causation for the order of which things can happen that force a cause or an event or an outcome that is essentially predictable and can be known and used in other applications. That is the beauty of mathematics. People say there's two types of things in this world. Truth, as in mathematics, and then everything else is arguing. There's a lot of truth to that. And really, when you're saying something is right or wrong, really what you're technically saying is this thing has components of truths in it, and this thing does not. And what do I mean by that? When I mean components of truths, what I actually mean is really more of ones and zeros. In computers, it's really a theoretical mathematical thing, which is something either is or something is not, which is the idea of, the sky is blue or the sky is purple, right? One, someone would say that's the correct answer, the right answer. One would say one is wrong. Well, why? What does that mean, right? When I say the sky is purple, that should immediately flash in your head as something that's wrong. Why? Because 2 seconds later, I can look out at the sky and I see it's not purple. So the whole point is that it's really more about, if this information is set up in my mind, if I were to take it and apply it to something else, would it allow me to effectively navigate the world around me? That's really what we're talking about when something is right or wrong, or something has components of truth in it or not. If I were to say smoking cigarettes is not a good thing for you, someone might smoke 100 cigarettes in a week, and they might be totally fine, except for maybe some coughing. And they would see, no, there's nothing wrong with smoking. But 60 years later, they may or may not get lung cancer. So is it right, or is the statement cigarettes are bad for you, is that correct? Well, over a large enough percentage of a population, it will be deemed to be correct, probably statistically, for most, but not everybody. So as you can see, that's where you get into the idea of arguments can be more correct or less. But really what we're actually talking about is ones and zeros. And I will give you a little bit of a demonstration on a piece of paper. If I were to see everything in mathematics can be represented in matrices, vector spaces, in linear algebra, at least in a linear dimensional space-time, which is our Earth. So for example, if I say sky is blue, really what we're talking about is a very, very large matrix that represents all types of components for truth or not truth. That has to do with the laws of physics for air, oxygen, the sunlight. So the statement, the sky is blue, is actually an aggregate function, a mathematical aggregate. It's kind of hard to see through the paper, but as you can see, it's an aggregate of ones and zeros, right? If we think about the sky, some of the ones would be oxygen, other zeros would be methane. Maybe there's a ton of methane in the sky. Or, as you can see, it also has to do with the depth of the sky, how far, how much atmosphere. So as you can see, when you're arguing and talking about something being right or wrong, an idea such as the sky is blue would have more ones in the vector space of the sum representation of that idea in the universe. And something like saying the sky is purple would have a lot more zeros. Because it's wrong. But the idea is that when we're talking about things, we're really trying to talk about components of truths, which is ones and zeros. And we will get into the importance of 1 and 0 because that is so insightful. Because that actually has to deal with light and darkness as well in the universe, which also has to deal with God, or the absence of God, right? Which is Lucifer, that's the absence of God. Now, that's a whole nother subject. But I wanted to tap into and poke just a little bit about the thinking of what right or wrong is, which is really more statements or thoughts that have components of information that are true in the sense that if I were to take this information and take all these ones, which are truths, and zeros are falses, but if I were to take this aggregate of ones and zeros in this way to describe something, I could take this information and apply it to other areas successfully, predicting the outcome or setting it up in a way that is beneficial to me or other people. Much larger conversation, but I think this is a good start to get the ball rolling. God bless. The truth is inside you.